Welcome to Fayetteville Public Library. We were inspired by the YouTube show Hot Ones by First We Feast to interview library staff members as they eat increasingly spicy hot wings.
Woo! Ooh, yeah. Yes, this is a hot one.
Join Joel the librarian outside our teaching kitchen, where Chef Matt has prepared delicious and spicy chicken wings, perfect for a sizzling interview. This is Just Wingin' It.
My name is Samantha, and I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager here at the library. And essentially my job is to market and make the public aware of all the awesome services and events that we have going on here.
Well, Samantha, thank you so much for joining me. We are going to be doing the mild wings today.
Okay.
I'm doing these right along with you. Our first one is the ancho, and
This is the most mild?
yes. So, you say that word Marita? Is that how you say that?
Where? Oh,
This one here.
I think so. Marita?
Okay, so we're gonna chow down on this, and then I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay. Are you eating the whole thing? Or are you just taking
Oh, I'm
a bite?
planning on it, but
Okay.
okay, if you want to. That's pretty tasty. I ain't gonna have another bite. Can we have a napkin, please?
What that is? It's got like a
Smoky flavor.
chipotle type flavor. Mm-hmm.
So, what does a marketing department at a library actually do?
Well, at this library, there is so much going on that we actually have a ton to do, which is nice. So all the different departments, they create their own services, their own events. Do I have sauce on my face?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's fine.
Our job is to utilize social media, LCDs here in the library, email newsletters, just as much as we can. Thank you.
Thank you.
To reach as many people as we can so that they're aware of what's going on, just because the services and all the events here are free, which is an amazing resource, but I think our job is to make sure people are aware so that they can make it here. And it's a very collaborative job because we work with all the programmers and all the departments to make sure that we are reaching the right people, hopefully.
You support me very well in my fumbling attempts to do programming. So
No,
thank
you do great. And then we were just like, yeah, that's a great idea.
So our second one we're gonna do is the nugget honey. It's the one here in the middle.
Okay.
And this is of course, a sweeter kind of honey-based sauce.
Yeah. It's like, I know that you just said that that's what was in the name, but it looks like honey, so.
Oh, it's so good. And Chef Matt just crisped these up for us.
The wings are delicious. I don't know how I feel about honey on chicken. Actually, no, I think I'm a fan. I like chicken and waffles. I forgot.
So,
These are really good.
do you have a favorite font, being in
A
marketing?
favorite font?
Yeah, you
Okay.
guys work with typeface all the time, don't you?
Yes, we do. I mean, we do work with this is going to be a plug for our personal font because I love our font. We recently rebranded last year, which it sounds recent, but I guess it was a whole year ago. And we use Mont is our primary font. Mont is our primary font, which is a fun phrase to say. It's just really sleek and modern and cool. And I will say, before I came to the library, that wasn't so much of my job dealing with different fonts, but it's fun to have an opinion on them now, and I really like ours.
I thought you might have.
I think it's cool.
Yeah. The last one we're gonna do today is jalapeno, tequila, and lime.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a party.
A little hotter than the other ones we've had so far. Not bad though.
Oh no. It's definitely caught in my teeth. But it's good.
Very tasty. As the support staff, you don't face the public quite as much as the rest of us do.
Correct.
So sometimes that can be one of the more motivating things for us doing this work. What motivates you to come into the library every day and to do marketing when you don't always get to see the payoff at the end or
Right.
have that patron interaction?
Well, personally, I've this library has always been one of my favorite spots in Fayetteville, so that's what I like coming to work for. But yes, in our work, we're not always at every event we promote, but when we get really good responses from you all and you tell us that enough people showed up, there was positive feedback, or just we hear success stories of people using the services and the programs we market, that always feels nice. Especially, I think, we introduce knowledge to someone that they didn't know was accessible to them.
Yes, very good. I mean, that's something we all try to touch, that experience here at the library. So.
Yeah.
Well, that is it. Thank you so much for joining me today and having some hot wings.
Thank you for a snack. I'm very excited. I'm taking all of these. I'm going to finish them.
Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Diana Dominguez, and I'm the Multicultural Community Liaison within the Department of Community Engagement here at the Fayetteville Public Library.
So thank you very much for joining me. We're going to be eating some medium spiced wings.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you some questions. The first one you and I are going to do together is the red habanero and black coffee hot sauce.
Oh, it's got a little bit of a kick to it.
Definitely hit me in the lips.
I know.
So, what does community engagement look like at the Fayetteville Public Library?
So we just actually transitioned into renaming or reestablishing our department. We were formerly known as Volunteer and Outreach. Wow, my mouth is starting to salivate. What does that actually look like in practice? It means going out, meeting community members where they are, letting them know about any sort of library programs, services. It also gives us an opportunity to actually be just in community with people, to have conversations, to know what needs or interests exist out there in the community, to then be able to bring that back within the library. I always talk about outreach in kind of multiple layers, so it's not just going out in the community, but also finding ways to be able to retain those different diverse community audiences to ensure that they're coming here within the library. We know that the library is widely utilized, but then when we break it down in terms of demographics across different spheres, I think it's important to have those conversations of, who's accessing currently our library, the program, who's attending our programs, who's accessing the services, who's even presenting on our programs, who are we extending the invitation to participate on panel discussions, who's giving informational sessions.
So part of it is bringing programs to different communities within our Fayetteville Public Library area, but also like having in-house programs that they actually want and need and utilize.
Exactly. So that's why I kind of work with each department of youth, adult, and then within our own community engagement department to try to assess, what sort of programs communities would be interested in having here at the library. I actually just came back 2 or 3 hours ago from the LGBTQI plus resource fair at the University of Arkansas. It's not just having the conversations with community members, but also, following up with them, sustaining the relationships with them. And community engagement really it's a fluid practice. One year it might look this way, but then the following year we might need to reassess how we do our programs and services to ensure that it's still connecting and addressing community needs.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, but my answers are always like that, Joe. So.
I did, and I appreciate that. Our next sauce we're going to enjoy is the Tiki Hot Masala.
Okay.
This is an Indian flavor.
Okay.
How are you doing?
That's good. That other one kind of hit me, but this one's like sweet.
A little bit.
How about you?
I feel great.
Okay.
You get a lot of direct patron interaction, but it's a little different than some of the rest of us. So what is the most satisfying part about helping patrons for you?
Yeah, so I think there's like chicken stuck in my teeth, so I think it's kind of hard to say, because I feel like being out in the community, what's satisfying for me looks different than necessarily when we're here within the library. I think thinking about, when I work desk shifts in the children's library, I've definitely had moments where there's Spanish-speaking families, or by the families that I know speak Spanish, coming into the library, and I think they're surprised to know that there's someone there in the children's library that speaks Spanish. And there have been moments too where I'll interact with a family and, I'll start in English, and then kind of just depending and seeing, like assessing what their comfort level is, like slipping into Spanish. And there was one incident that I had about a month ago where a family came in, and they were looking for some books for their child, and the grandmother was there, and she didn't speak any English, she just spoke Spanish. And we started the conversation in English with the parent and guardian, but then I slipped into Spanish, and at that moment, it's like I grabbed that grandma's attention, and even though she wasn't directly involved in the conversation, it was like a way for her to somehow still be involved with the interaction and still have a positive interaction here at the library. And I think even at the end of it, I think she was surprised, and she came over and she said thank you for helping her family. So
Very nice.
Whoa, that was weird. It like came up. I think out in the community, I know, pretty much, yes. I think what I really enjoy about being out of the library is being able to see community members that I oftentimes don't get to see because I'm just here at the library. I spend a certain amount of time here, but then a certain amount of time out there. So it's nice to be able to follow up and talk with them and feel like I'm in community with different folks. I definitely felt that way this afternoon when we were at the resource fair.
We have one left.
Okay.
This is the headless horseradish sauce.
Okay.
It's gonna be a little spicy.
Okay.
I got it all over myself, of course.
I think I'm starting to feel it like around my lips.
So, you've been in this position for a couple of years, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward, what would you like community engagement to look like in the future for the library?
I think that's up to the community. I think that's us being in touch with what the, again, community interests and needs are. I do think that because this position, been here 2 years, the position's new to the library, I've been asking a lot of maybe hard questions around programming and services, and I hope that we also move forward in taking a direction as a whole institution and trying to continue to prioritize bringing in diverse community members in. And I think we were definitely taking steps towards that, but I would like us to continue to do that work and do it across the board. Maybe more community partnerships as well. I think for me that has been really fruitful, and the success, a lot of the programming success that I've had has been because of community partnerships. I look at Man Day and that wonderful community partnership with Marshallese Educational Initiative, where we were able to create a space for Marshallese community members to come and celebrate their culture, but then also hold space for conversations for non-Marshallese community members to know about the Marshallese culture, the history, because, whoa, this is like hitting me. Okay.
I feel you.
Okay. For me, it's, it's important to be celebrating these different cultural events, holidays, but if you don't have the full history or context, I don't think it's always appropriate to be doing like, oh, we're gonna just do this without having a full context. And definitely would love to see more community partnerships, but I would like us to also just be able to have the capacity to be able to spend more time out in the community, because I think that's where a lot of the conversations are happening. And I think we also need to switch the narrative of like, and I just did it, I was complicit in it, why aren't they coming here, but why aren't we engaging with them, and what's happening, what's getting lost in translation or in conversation with them. Also, I know we're taking steps and practices towards ensuring that we have diverse staff here, and I think continuing to do that work so that way patrons that are coming in can see themselves represented across the board in different areas, But I definitely take what I hear from my community in order to inform the practices that I have here within the library.
Thank you very much for your
Thank you,
time. I hope you've enjoyed these.
Yeah, it was definitely more spicier than what I thought. I can feel it around my lips.
Yeah, my lips are on fire.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is David Johnson. I'm the Executive Director of the Fayetteville Public Library, and it's my job to make sure that all of these wonderful people who work here are able to do their jobs as effectively as they can and have fun at the same time.
Thank you very much, David, for joining me. We are going to have a great time right here.
I'm intimidated.
Well, I'm doing it with you. We're in it together. So we are going to be having 4 of the hottest of the hot wings that we've been doing in this interview series. And if you're ready, let's go ahead. We're going to start with one called Love Burns. And I wanted to ask you about the day-to-day activities for a library director. What does that look like at any given day?
Well, there's a lot of stretching, calisthenics, skin hydration is important. Those are the fundamentals of my day-to-day. And then, spending a lot of time just reading, because that's all librarians do. It is a lot of correspondence. And at times you feel guilty, like everybody else is out there really working hard, and all I'm doing is a lot of connecting dots and corresponding and talking with individuals, just making sure you have everything you need. So yeah, that's kind of what my day-to-day sort of begins with.
You make sure the trains run on time, right?
Yeah, well, and since I'm not making and doing, purchasing or buying, it's my job to make sure you have everything you need to be successful. What are the obstacles in your way for you to be the best you can be? And if everybody else is being the best they can be, then I'm, by virtue of, all boats rise. That's the goal.
By the way, this one is going to be really bad. If you were given the option to have any other job in the library, to for a day do whatever, which would you choose?
Since I started at the library over on Dixon Street years ago, head of reference, that kind of satisfies a couple of my drives. One is an insatiable curiosity. I always want to learn more and know more about things I don't know about, and at the same time help people. So when individuals come and they need assistance and they need help with things, I'm learning. It helps me feel like I'm helping. So I would probably find myself back up in adult services if I had my opportunities to just go anywhere.
It's a great place.
Although there are times I admire the guys out cutting grass, or washing windows, and thinking, man, that's hard work, and that's valuable work. And oftentimes it goes unnoticed or unappreciated, but it's super valuable to what we do. And there's so many layers of the organization where people are just seamlessly going through and they're doing their jobs, and they may go unnoticed. But they're the glue, it's the secret sauce that holds us all together. I guess speaking of sauce, we got to take another bite
yes,
of
we
this
do.
one here. That one tastes better than that one.
I'm kind of surprised it does. I wasn't expecting it to. So before I ask you another question, my mouth is already starting not to work well.
Yeah.
We are going to do number 9 real quick. It's called Scorpion Disco. That's a party, right?
Yeah.
I'm starting to really feel it. Chef Matt had a great quote when he was doing it. Except for these wings, you get about a second and a half of flavor, and then it's
then you just throat scorcher.
Okay, so you are about to celebrate 10 years as our library director next year. And as you alluded to, you were here before then, so you've been here a long time.
Yeah.
What are you most proud of? You've done a lot of things. You've grown us and taken us to different levels.
I'm most proud of the fact that I've broken myself of the habit of eating out of all the candy bowls in all the departments. I've been able to kind of break away from that, and I think if I look back at things, and I know a lot of people get really fascinated with the building, but it's having grown the staff from 67 people to now we have 111. I'm seeing that grow, watching managers select the right people, and then looking at people who've worked through the library and then maybe moved on to greater things. Might have been able to do just a little bit to kind of help take them to the next level. So, I think that would be it. So,
how you doing?
My nose is running.
I'm trying to breathe through my mouth and not breathe on you, but man, messing me up.
Yeah, that's hot.
Be honest. We are at our last one. We're about to be at the summit. So we are going to try a sauce called the Last Step Apollo. On the show, they always pour a little bit more.
We're not doing that.
No, sir, we are not. Whew.
That's hot.
Very much so. I hit the back of the throat.
Dancing on your usual is not where you want the hot sauce.
Nope. I'm starting to cry at this point. Okay. We are at the cusp of a lot of new things.
Yeah.
Over the past 18 months, I feel like, and even before that, we've been adding just more and more. So, looking forward, what is your vision? What would you like to add or see us do that we're not already doing?
You know, we've got to stay out ahead of the changes happening in the community, both population growth size, but also disruptive technologies, disruptive things are happening so fast now. We've got to stay ahead of the dance, and we lead where we need to lead, and we listen to the community and respond where we need to listen. So, if I were to say, we're only about 25% into figuring out what we've got on our hands right now. And coming through a pandemic, which is something I cannot say how proud I am of this staff, of having held it together under this incredibly stressful time. We are surrounded on this staff with really, really bright people, really, really motivated people, really, really servant leaders. We're going to figure it out.
Sure.
And we will be looked to by this community and continue to be as the place to go.
I mean, we've had to be really good at adapting. So I have faith in us too that we will adapt to this, what comes next.
Yeah, sure.
Ooh, I'm adapting to these wings. Thank you so much for joining
my
me
pleasure.
on this spice journey.
Yeah, this was incredible. And tip of the hat to the creativity to make it happen.
Thank you very much.
Very, very fun. I look forward to the next challenge
yeah.
that you have for us.
Can't wait.